So a couple of years ago, I received a phone call from a prospect, and they were very upset because their Social Security payment had just stopped. They'd been receiving it, and then it stopped. And so I went through a couple of basic questions. I asked them, had they changed their bank account, and they had it. And then I realized what the problem was. And so just a minute, I'm going to walk you through the problem and how you can also avoid it. But first, my name's Kevin Lum. I'm a certified financial planner, and this channel is dedicated to helping 1 million people retire without worry. So back to this prospect. So I started asking him, I said, how old are you? And they were 63, I believe. And then I asked them, are you working a full-time job while claiming benefits? And they said, actually, yes. So here's what had happened. If you are not yet your full retirement age 66 or 67, and you also work a job, a W-2, or have net self-employment income and claim Social Security benefits, there is a threshold of how much you're allowed to earn before your Social Security benefits begin to be reduced. And so here's why the checks had stopped coming. Now, this is supposed to happen automatically. The Social Security Administration is supposed to figure out from your W-2 or your net self-employed income that you're working a job and that you're earning over the threshold and claiming Social Security benefits. But that doesn't always happen smoothly. And sometimes you have to report those earnings to the Social Security Administration to make sure that they understand what's going on. And so in this situation, it hadn't worked the way it was supposed to. And so at some point, the Social Security Administration figures out, oh, he earns over the threshold from his W-2 job. We've been overpaying his Social Security benefit. So let's say his Social Security benefit is $1,000 a month, and they've realized they've overpaid him $3,500. So they're going to pause his checks for the next 4 months until they feel they've withheld enough and everything is caught up. And then his Social Security payments will restart at the reduced benefit. Now, some of you who are really good with math, you're like, you said it was $3,500, but 4 months is $4,000. That's right. They are not going to do a fractional amount. They're not going to round down. They're going to round up. So what can end up happening is they'll end up withholding a little over, and then at some point, they'll end up paying you that money back. So in today's video, we're going to take an in-depth look at both claiming your Social Security benefit and working either a part-time or full-time job. We're going to talk about what some of the thresholds are. I'll give you some examples of how it ends up working out because it gets a bit complicated. We're also going to answer some questions like, what if my spouse has an income and I don't? How does that impact my benefit? So we're going to answer all those questions and a bit more, and hopefully provide a bit of good news to those of you who have had your benefit reduced. So first, let's talk about a few basics around Social Security. Most of you already know this, but your Social Security benefit is based upon your work history. They take 35 years of your earnings, and that's how they calculate your benefit, unless it's the spousal benefit. So when you reach your full retirement age, which is age 66 or 67, you receive your full primary benefit amount. So let's say your primary benefit amount is $1,000. At age 67, you'll receive $1,000 a month. If you take your benefit earlier, that amount gets reduced. So those are the basics. And what often happens is people want to supplement their income while receiving Social Security. So they'll get a part-time job or maybe even continue working a full-time job and claim their benefits early. But many people are surprised to realize that if they earn over a certain threshold, then their Social Security benefit is going to be reduced. The Social Security Administration basically has 3 different rules. They have rules between ages 62 and your full retirement age. They have a rule for the year you turn your full retirement age. So for example, you're going to turn 67 in August. There's a special rule for that year. And then there is a rule for after you reach your full retirement age. So I'm going to walk through each of these different scenarios and give you an example of what it would look like. So let's just walk through exactly what these thresholds are. So if you've claimed your Social Security benefit early and you're working a job, you're allowed to earn $21,240 before your benefit is penalized. If you earn over that threshold, for every $2 you earn, your Social Security benefit is going to be reduced by $1. So let's walk through an example. So let's say you have a Social Security benefit of $9,600 a year, $800 a month, and you earn $31,240. As you can see, I'm trying to do easy math here. So you earn $31,240. You are over the limit by $10,000. So then there's going to be a penalty of $1 reduction for every $2 you earn. So you earn $10,000 over the limit. So in this scenario for this year, your benefit is going to be reduced by $5,000. So if your benefit is $9,600, your Social Security benefit's $9,600, then you're going to have to subtract $5,000. Therefore, your benefit's only going to be $4,600 for that year. Now, here's where it gets a bit more complicated, because the year of your full retirement age, the year you turn 66 or 67, there are slightly different rules. So for the preceding years, you were allowed to earn $21,240. If you went over that threshold, then your benefit was reduced. Now, the year of your full retirement age, before your birthday, you're allowed to earn $56,520 before you cross over the threshold. And once you do cross over the threshold, your benefits are reduced. For every $3 you earn, your benefits are reduced by $1. So you're going to turn 67 in August, but you've been working up until this time. So you've been working from January to July, and you've earned $57,000 in the first 7 months of this year. So during the first 7 months of this year, you were receiving your Social Security benefit, but you were also working full time, and you earned $57,000 in those 7 months. So you are over by $480. Now, in this scenario, your benefit is only going to be reduced $1 for every $3 you've earned. So your benefit so far this year, if you had received your full benefit, would have been $5,600. But now we're going to reduce it because you earned $480 more. So for every $3 you earned, it's going to be reduced by $1. So we're going to reduce the benefit by $160. Therefore, your benefit is going to be $54.40 for the first part of the year. Now, once you hit August, you can continue earning as much as you want, but now you're 67, you've reached your full retirement age, you're going to get your full $800 a month benefit. And then after that, once you've reached your full retirement age, it doesn't matter. You could earn $1 million a year. It's not going to impact your Social Security benefit. It could impact what percentage of your Social Security benefit is taxed, but it won't impact your actual benefit. Does that all make sense so far? So a few questions. What's included in income? Basically, it's two things. It's W-2 income, and if you're self-employed, it would be your net self-employment income. Those are basically the two things that are counted into the income. It doesn't include interest, pension, annuities, money received from the government. None of that is included in your income. But here's some good news. So if you have been subject to this, or you have no choice but to work and claim Social Security, you don't lose that benefit. It is simply deferred until your full retirement age. At your full retirement age, it will just increase your benefit amount a bit. So let's say, taking the above scenario, you earn $31,240, so you're $10,000 over. So your benefit has been reduced by $5,000. Your monthly benefit is $800 a month. So therefore, you've deferred 6.25 months of retirement. They don't do fractional numbers, so they'll round it to 7 months. And so that money will just end up getting added to your retirement benefits, but it may take them up to 15 years to pay back that benefit. So you will get the money back, but it's not going to happen immediately. One of the questions I receive is, if I'm married and my spouse is working, does that impact me? And the answer is no. As long as you have separate Social Security benefits, it won't impact you. They are seen as separate. Where it can impact your spouse is if they're receiving a spousal benefit. So if they're receiving a spousal benefit, their benefit amount is going to be reduced if your benefit amount is going to be reduced. So it can impact the spousal benefit. Another question I received is, do I have to report my income to the Social Security Administration? Because as I started with in the beginning, if they don't figure it out for a while, then you could end up having some payments withheld. Typically, you don't have to. They make an estimate based on your W-2 income or your net self-employed income. But for some people who have large amounts of net self-employment income or who have erratic earnings, they may end up having to file a report with the Social Security Administration to make sure everything is accurate. And so you don't end up in one of those situations where they under-withhold and then they withhold future payments. Now, people ask me sometimes, what should I do? Should I work and claim my Social Security benefit, or should I delay? And honestly, retirement planning is such a personalized process. I just can't make a blanket statement. But I would say, for me, if at all possible, I would delay taking Social Security at least until my full retirement age if I'm going to continue working, because it just adds another layer of complexity. Because if you don't get it right and they don't find out until later, and then you end up having a few of your benefit payments stopped. And if you are claiming your Social Security now and working, you probably really need those checks coming in. And now you've got 3 or 4 months where you have no checks coming in. It just adds a whole other extra layer of complexity. And if you can delay to your full retirement age, you'll have a larger benefit amount. And so as a general rule, I think if you're going to continue working, it makes sense to delay taking your Social Security payment at least until your full retirement age. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, things you felt I got wrong or should be clarified, leave them in the comments below. And then finally, if you enjoyed this content, if you would click the like button, subscribe, ding that bell. All those things help the YouTube algorithms know that this is content worth watching. Thanks again.